Oh, yeah. Oh, here we go.
My dog, my dog.
Yeah. Fucking finally. Let's
About
go.
time.
It's just it can't be no better time, man. This is sacrilegious to not even be on any telecast or any video after judging what just happened yesterday. You are the famous man in that photo next to CM Punk in downtown Hartford, Connecticut. So,
Facts.
so
Boy said facts. Let's
in the
go.
same shirt. So,
Yeah.
so
Well, once I said I had to join, I had to drive to my, because I'm in the middle of moving to a new location to grab this shirt. And I was like, I'm gonna wear that for the first one. Let's do it.
yeah,
Hey,
absolutely,
respect.
absolutely. And I'm glad because I got to
So
I
you
got
know what? Hold on, y'all talk. I can get my shit.
so and I had the Punk shirt on last night, so I was like, I'm not gonna. I know you. I counted on you to carry the Punk torch, so I was like, all right, I'll bring NWO into the mix. You can
I'm
come.
gonna be honest, my age kicked in last night. I like sat on the couch, watched that TV, and passed out. And no one normally usually wakes me up, so I was just dead asleep. I woke up this morning and I'm screaming through the house because I saw it.
Yo, it. I was surprised actually. Well, I'm not surprised because the show was.
Yeah, there we
Yeah,
go.
no,
Hold
I don't
on,
want to
hold
get too
on.
deep into the show because we got plenty of video on that.
Let's go. Let's go.
Um, um,
Ah,
I was actually pleasantly surprised that it did end as early as it did, and I think that's because it had only 5 matches.
bring
So,
my Wolfpack shirt out here.
but once it happened, it was great. But yeah, I'm just jump straight into it. That's waste no goddamn time. Let's just jump straight into CM Punk now
All
coming
right, so
back.
so I have
Huey.
so
Yeah,
I've been talking about this for a full week with like coworkers and other friends. I personally did not count that he was gonna come back this pay per view. I thought he was gonna come back on the Rumble.
Rumble made sense. Rumble makes sense. I
Him coming this early makes no sense to me storyline wise for any character on that roster.
Actually, yes and no, if you think about it. I mean,
because
yo,
he can't.
because
I
they're
get what he's saying. I get what he's
no,
saying.
I do. But who's Seth gonna be going after right now? Let's just be honest. Because
I
right
mean,
now
it
Seth
sounds
is
cheesy.
he's neutral right now, right? With his opponents, he's been neutral. Not
I mean, you could still feed him a few more characters until either Mania or even the Rumble. But like the best thing, because I saw the podcast last night, I watched it, and I think you're slightly half right, Charles, when you said he's not going to be belt driven. I think the best thing for him to come right now is not Gunther off his platform right now. Just take him off, take that title, and then let him lose it to, I don't know, the Miz or someone else. But Gunther looks like he's going to be undefeated till Mania, and I don't see anybody on the roster to take it from him.
correct.
Maybe Drew, but he's on SmackDown, so that can't happen.
I mean, I added.
And
I just put. I added in Sheamus because Sheamus has been a while away for a while, and again, that's the one title that has eluded him in his career. He still needs to get that IC title. So that is the only person storyline wise that because that was Gunther's first major feud. Remember,
yeah, and it was hot fire.
and it was
And
fire. So
after
he could go
that,
full
Yeah, it
circle
obviously,
and
was.
maybe
Oh
drop
my
it to
God,
Sheamus
yes, it
and let
was.
Sheamus finally get the IC belt because that's the one belt he needs to get the full
So, so when is he gonna get the belt then from Gunter?
Rumble.
When? What pay per view?
Rumble.
Y'all tell me.
Rumble.
Elimination Chamber
Which
would be
yeah, you could do
nice.
the chamber. You could drop it at the chamber because then
Yes,
you could have Gunther
yes.
then win the Rumble.
Oh, that'd be
No, but it's hold on.
wow.
But Royal Rumble is beforehand.
Before
Royal
Elimination
Rumble
Chamber.
is yes,
Yeah, yeah, because
eliminate
Yeah,
the
which is
Chamber's in
January.
they
February,
changed
right?
it.
Or because what's the next one? See,
See, that's what
Joseph
we were
brought
talking
this
about
one
last
up.
night.
I can't remember. It's not Payback or nothing like that. Is it one of these off-brand shows before they get?
Yeah. I think it's something with I don't want to say Saudi Arabia
Yeah, I was
stuff,
about
but I
to
think
say
it's
too.
one of those like another country pay per view.
Yeah,
But that's in January, isn't it? That one's in January.
because
You gotta
Nah,
have something in December.
Usually Rumbles in January.
Rumbles in
Yeah,
January,
And
February's
Chambers,
elimination.
yeah, and Chambers,
yeah, and then
then you go to WrestleMania. So, I mean, Gunther could drop it then too. Like he could theoretically win the Rumble and then drop the strap in Elimination Chamber. I mean, what better way? You got 4 against 1 essentially. They could just jump him and then get him out. It protects him.
I mean, I'm dying for Priest to cash it in successfully. I don't want him to be a Baron Corbin and fail. I don't.
I don't either, because
Thank you.
he deserves
Thank you.
he deserves a lot more, because he
Yeah.
earned, he really, out of all of past case winners, he really earned that case off of the great work he did at Backlash.
Oh yes.
He
I
organized.
mean,
Bunny.
also, I rather prefer him cash it in on Roman Reigns.
Yeah, but
he's not gonna do it. That's not.
he's on Raw.
He's not.
He's a Raw guy. And he's a Raw
True.
guy.
It's got to be one of those crossover events at a
Yeah, but I don't
pay-per-view.
see him. I don't know. I don't
He's
see.
already targeted Seth. He's
Yeah,
got
he wants Seth.
So
Well,
that's
actually, I just thought about it. He can go cross-brand because they're the tag champs.
That's true.
that is true.
That means he can perform on both brands. And I mean,
Can he switch? Because isn't that a part of the stipulation? Like when you get the thing, you have to kind of decide who you want to go after.
No, you got to decide right before WrestleMania, I believe. No, that's Royal Rumble. No, that's Royal Rumble. My bad.
I'm talking about when you win the briefcase.
No, you could turn in
the
at any time you
briefcase
want.
on any champ. Yeah, so like if the 24/7 belt was still around, you could do it on anybody.
Yeah,
Which would be
NXT.
foolish.
Who did that last year? There was somebody that did the NXT. Who was it?
Let's see. I don't.
Corbin. I think it was Corbin. He did the NXT.
And he was unsuccessful, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what George was talking about. He don't want that to happen.
Yeah, you don't want that.
But I don't think.
I think.
No, see now.
Take it from Seth, man. I'm telling you,
I would agree with you a few days ago, but now everything is on the board. Like now with Punk back in the mix, now with God knows what's going on with Drew, now with Randy back, now it's just so much going on. So it's like,
can we talk about Randy for a split second?
Of course, let's go.
Punk coming back ruined his comeback.
I don't think
all of it in together.
I think his comeback was ruined just because it was the group aspect. In my opinion, I think it was the group aspect. I think it took it away.
A lot of star power.
Yeah, a lot of star power. He's the last one in. He didn't really get a full match in.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
They protected him too. They protected him. It was all because he literally came from back surgery.
But it took it away.
Oh, was it really back surgery?
Yeah, he was out.
He was out. It was 50-50 whether he was coming back or not. Like for real.
Yeah, because they were telling him not to.
Yeah.
Like Big E right now.
Yeah,
they come back.
They were babying this return for a while. Like they were rumoring him to return all the way back since like
SummerSlam.
Since like the summer. Yeah.
So you think it was rushed?
No. They took actually
they let him think about it. They let him think.
So I
let him think about his return.
Finally, I guess get to the point where it was like he was good, he was ready to go. Like they said, it's been 18 months. So they took their time with Randy, and you
be gone that long, and all your story modes are dead. You really got to start from the bottom somewhere.
But no, they're not really dead, because this is what we were saying in the pre-show. We were thinking that Randy could turn because, again, the Jey Uso storyline, that seems to be everyone's storyline. Like he did Randy dirty just like he did Drew dirty. So remember,
which is why Drew
remember they put him out. Remember the story was that Bloodline put him out. So it wouldn't have been out of the realm for him to like help them win, or maybe turn last minute, and then do something Randy-ish. That's what we were thinking at first. We were just thinking,
man, I was waiting for the setup. I was hoping they won, and the whole time I'm like, oh, he gonna RKO somebody, and he didn't. I was like, oh man, this is the softest Randy. Yeah, exactly. I was like, this is the softest I've ever seen him.
Yeah, but again, back surgery. He's got to kind of remember. I said this too when I was like, he's got to pick and choose. Every RKO going forward has to be a meaningful one, because a part of the reason why he had to have back surgery is doing that maneuver for 20 years. So, you know,
That off the top turnbuckles and
yeah, like
catching people
think about that.
midair.
Think about that. It's just hundreds, thousands a year, maybe, because you're doing live
Yeah.
shows, you're doing house shows, pay-per-views.
You don't know how many RKOs he's
Yeah,
doing
right?
in one
Seriously.
sitting.
Like, it's crazy. It's madness. It's like Hulk Hogan. That's why Hulk Hogan had to eventually have so many surgeries.
Yeah, he said he hated his
Yeah,
move.
imagine doing the goddamn leg drop for 30, 40 years. Like,
So
Your
he
ass is numb at this point. Like he
said
feels
he
nothing.
messed
you
up
ain't got
his
no hips.
tailbone.
Your hip tissue is like jello at that point.
Yeah, yeah, he
Jello
said it, man.
pudding.
That's why you need the old school Tajiri mist into a cake. You'll be fine for life.
Yo, Jerry was underrated, yo. But that's a whole nother topic. But
I
Punk.
mean, yeah, facts. I was
Jerry
gonna say,
was
yeah,
underrated.
facts. These
But
these Asian wrestlers get dookied on like Tozawa.
oh yeah, especially in WWE, like the whole going thing with the WWE has been like they really lean hard into Japanese stereotypes. You know, the
So
character.
can I present something real hard that I was talking to with some friends.
By all means, man.
Uh, how do you feel? And I've always said it. The racism in WWE is so strong that there have been less black champs and or successful champions other than the New Day. Because like Big E, I swear they gave it to him affirmative action style. Even Bobby Lashley, who looks like could be a better Gunther, just terrible on the mic. They both suck, but his reign was short lived. To Austin
Yeah,
Theory, who
we
was the
agree with
golden boy
Vince.
for McMahon.
I've said
But it's
this
Vince.
years.
Vince, man.
It's part of Vince's. It's this part of his thing and how he's kind of run things. This, you know,
Just like his women wrestlers, man. They got to be a blonde. They got to be a blonde. If they're not blonde,
I mean, look at Rhea though. She's going on a year thing, right?
but that's Triple H. That's not Vince.
That's Papa
That's H.
Oh,
because
Yeah.
H has been like a year.
Yeah, a
Plus,
year.
it's been over a year, I think.
No.
Well, because he had a
It's-
stroke or whatever last year. This time,
Yeah.
he came
And that's
back
when they took
last
over.
this time.
And he took over. He came back. He took over around that time. He came back.
yeah, before or
Vince came
after the
back
allegations?
around-
Yeah.
He came back after. He came back. What was it, like in June?
Crazy thing is
I was thinking like June.
they would have landed Jay White had the allegations not popped up, because Jay White was rumored to go there, and then like, you know, the allegations popped. There was a couple people that was rumored to go.
Oh, to come to WWE?
Yeah. Then then that's when the rumors were popping up big time, and then they went basically on a hiring freeze at the time because for obvious reasons. It's like, yo, we got this big scandal going on, and oh, by the way, behind closed doors, we're actually looking to sell. So we got all of this shit going on. We don't.
I was actually afraid that they were gonna sell and there was gonna be like a horrible shit show that ended up like a bad company.
I always knew that whoever they sold to would be aligned with who they are as a company. Like, I mean, we used to joke about it back in the days, JB, about how we could definitely see them merging with Disney or something like.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they essentially are the Disney of this business, professional wrestling. They are the Disney of it. So it was beautiful. That's why he got Vince. That's why Vince was so important. They wanted to get him back so only Vince could close this deal when it came to
the way it happened,
where his legacy would be cemented, his family's legacy would be cemented in this deal. Because you got to remember, Vince wanted a deal where we're cemented, our legacy is cemented. Mm-hmm. Like, we don't just go away. Like, and he did it. Like, this dude is a real life villain, and I love it.
I mean, I agree with that personally and just like emotionally, because this dude gets on everybody's skin, but at the same time, mastermind wise, this dude's great.
He's perfect. He's perfect for it.
I mean, he was getting guys off with murder. Like, he got Jimmy Snuka off with murder in the 80s. Like, if you watch the, Dark Side of the Ring, like,
I mean, but now is he dead or is he still in jail facing life?
I think he might have passed now, but he did end up getting charged for. I'm not sure if it was that same thing, but it was something else, I think. No, actually, they might have brought that back. I don't remember.
Yeah, I thought it was like they brought
Because I
newer
think Dark
evidence or
Side of the
something like that.
Ring that kind of helped it. I think so. They didn't like nobody. They didn't like that show, but that's a whole nother topic. But yeah, I mean, as far as Punk is concerned, I think that well, first of all, this doesn't. I was thinking while we were talking, like this doesn't get Nakamura off the hook either. Like Nakamura could have still been talking about Punk. We still don't know who he was talking about.
I
Like
mean,
he could
that would be a good first match. That would be a good first match.
that's a
And
perfect tune-up match.
and then
I don't know, man. It'd be the
have Seth
worst to
come
end
in.
his career, or not career, his
No,
momentum.
he's not. No, he got
Nakamura.
he.
No, he
Well,
has signed a multiple deal.
with Nakamura.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Oh
saying. If you
Yeah,
no.
Nakamura.
lose,
Yeah. Oh, you talking about
if he
ruining
loses,
Nakamura?
yeah, his first match, like coming back, beating him, like
They've already
Nakamura's beating
they've already
Bronson and all
ruined
these
him.
other people.
They've ruined him
Wait,
already. They,
what?
he
With the
lost.
Seth match?
Lost to Seth twice.
Yeah,
Twice.
I know.
Yeah.
What was it, like
It was a bad
2000 and
match.
like 10 or something?
No, it was. Are you talking about with Punk?
No, I meant Nakamura and Seth because this is like their third time wrestling, no, for the
Um.
title.
Well, far as this year is concerned, they
Oh,
wrestled twice this year.
yeah, this year was twice, and the first time they met up was
It's probably
when
NXT.
Seth. Well,
Probably.
no, when Seth got the belt when he cashed it in and it was like
Oh, okay.
top
Yeah.
five, he was on his run.
Yeah.
They
But
met
this.
up, and I really thought that Nakamura was gonna. He was also
Yeah, and
pushed
they
heavy.
ruined him then, and then like they pushed him up again, build him back up against Seth, which was great. I loved how they built him back up into this warrior samurai badass, like because that's who he is.
Yeah, no
And
English,
yeah,
rarely, and just
yeah, he's a badass. Like that's really how they should have built him. But the problem is, Seth is a monster right now. So you got the Roman monster now, the Seth monster, like we talked about on the other video. Like it's a problem because now you stomped out whatever momentum you built with Nakamura by Seth just beating him twice with a bad quote unquote back.
yeah. I think that's full of crap. The whole back injury thing, because Jay was saying last night, I was watching a after post conference or whatever, the conference, and they were saying that their medical protocols are like top notch, better than any sports program. I was like, better than the concussion protocol? Like, all right, if y'all that good, how come Seth is wrestling with this quote unquote bad back?
I think he's gonna be off for a little bit. I honestly thought he was gonna be off next year because of the promotion of Captain America, um, the New World Order movie, because he's in it.
Wait, what? Word?
Yeah, Seth is in it. Forgot what villain he
Man,
plays. But yeah,
and his
he's in
bad
it.
back. I need a bad back if I can get pushed just like this in life. Damn.
Yeah, he's in the so that's why I was like, all right, it makes sense, He
Yeah, we don't really
you
know
know
like how much of it is real versus how much of it. I do think he do need some kind of work done. I don't think he's as hurt, but he do need probably some cleanup work done because they all do after a while, especially they wrestle as long as these guys and do the spots.
Oh no, yeah, no, definitely.
They do
The bump
spots.
itself is
Yeah, the
just the
bumps.
worst.
Yeah, so I'm sure he needs to take some time eventually and get cleaned up. But it's hard to do that when you're one of the top guys and compared to Roman Reigns. And Roman is part-time now. So you can't take no time off because of Roman.
Is he part time? There's got to be something less than part time. This dude barely ever shows up. Roman.
Yeah, he's
he's
they did a meme. They did a meme somewhere where they
I'm done with him right
his
now.
I think his matches are active.
He's only had 11 matches this
Like
year.
they did the last 5 years or something. Like you seen that meme? Did you share that?
Yeah, it was. I did.
Somebody shared it.
Me.
Yeah,
It was 55 last year.
That was
Now he has
wild.
11.
Yo. Like they
has
traced it back
11.
from like 2017 or
11.
something, and it was like
Yeah.
dipping every year, dipping.
Yeah, it's at 11 right now. 55 was last year.
Crazy. Good for him.
That's awful.
That's awful for
I
us.
mean, he's got to have the best contract in the world because you don't make no shows.
No,
I mean, you're right.
none.
Lesnar has it best.
Yeah, he got
But
a
it's
he got a
just
Lesnar deal now, basically, where you just show up to big pay-per-views, big payouts, and that's it.
Yeah, but the only thing about Brock is Brock beat you. Like Brock beat you to win. That's the issue. The issue this year was We're so sick of seeing somebody from the bloodline coming in, disrupting the match, and then boom, Roman wins. That's
I mean,
tiring after a while.
all
It's
right.
tiring
So
after a while.
I agree. The biggest thing for me, I wanted to go on a hierarchy where like they bring in Nia Jax,
Yeah,
right?
I
They don't
want
have a
that
female.
too.
understand
They don't have a
how.
they don't have a
No,
female in
but
it, and I'm
they
like,
want
she's
they want to
family.
bring the Rock. They want to bring the Rock's his daughter.
Wait, what? She's a wrestler?
Yeah,
The
she's in
Rock's daughter?
NXT.
Yeah, dude. She
Yeah,
was in NXT. They let her go, and then about a month, maybe a month and a half ago, they had Paul Heyman talking to her backstage, showing her like something regarding the bloodline. But it's been like under the wraps since then.
what's her name?
And
Eva
then
Rain or something like that.
yeah, they she didn't want to use anything that
It's like
belongs to
Eva
the Rock.
Rain or something like
Yeah,
that.
it's Eva or
No, man.
Ava.
I'm
Ava.
listen. To be honest, in this business, just like Randy, you got to pay homage to the ones who paved that road. If your dad's The Rock, you better give an eyebrow.
But
You
I
better give
think,
two
but
eyebrows.
see, that's what I think is
They
going to
will. I
happen. I
think they've
think
done. I
that's
think they've done
why.
a good job of paying like all those bloodline people. All those
Yeah.
bloodline cats, man. They do a good job of paying homage in their own little ways. Like there's like
I mean,
Roman.
Jay Uso's doing The Rock's punches last night. That was great.
Yep.
Roman been sneakily adding in rock bottoms. These
Oh
last.
no, no, sir. We call it now the Uranagis.
Yeah.
We no longer call them the bookends or the
Now
rock
hold up.
bottom.
Now the Uranagi is a little different. Like I've seen it now. Like the way Jay White executes the Uranagi, now that's a Uranagi because it's a little spin to it. Like it's not just a rock, it's not a straight rock bottom. Like they grab you and kind of spin you into a rock bottom. Like that's a Uranagi to me. Like
Okay.
like a straight up
I'm
just
used to the turnbuckle one like Samoa Joe. It's the
yeah,
weirdest
that's a
one, but I
neuro
mean,
that is one though. That I
Yeah.
would classify that one as a Uranagi as well. Like it has a swing to it. Like I think all the Uranagis have a swing, some kind of swing to it. Joe's he uses the turnbuckle to so but like Reigns, like he's done it like the rock, the actual rock bottom once. Like he started doing it recently, like the last like not this probably not this last main event, but lately. Like and they throw little things in there. Like you'll see little things like, of
They
course
play tribute. They play
or
tribute. You
Solo
already
playing
know.
tribute to manga with the spike and
Yeah.
so
yeah, and but that's what I'm saying. Like, if it's Rock's daughter, like, all right, the best entertainer, period, right? Like, flashy, charismatic, all great
My
mic skills.
my one. My one.
So, like, The Rock to me epitomized that whole entertainer thing to the thing. And if
Yes.
that's your dad, right? Just like Bronny getting into the NBA, like you have to show up. You got to be great, and you should mimic your parent just a tad bit, right? Because you're getting your wheels greased while coming through the door. Unless because look at what they're doing with what's the enforcer for the bloodline? This dude Solo. He to me until he got that spike, he had nothing going for
that's true. But that's what
And I
him. NXT
think
they knew.
was this
They
tough
knew he needed
guy.
something else. They knew it.
and
Yeah, he was
the
a
thing
tough guy
was
at NXT, and it was trash.
what the issue was for Ava or Eva. Damn, we gotta find out the name. But the issue with her was when she joined NXT and she joined that group, um, she was there for a little bit and then, you know, the whole buyout. And then that's when they let go of certain wrestlers from all three companies,
Yeah.
SmackDown. So that's what hurt her. So I think, and I bet you anything, and if the rumors are true, and if it does happen, if we finally get The Rock at WrestleMania, I think leading towards it or in WrestleMania, you will see her in the bloodline, and that's gonna start the
Oh,
feud with The Rock.
Yeah, I did a
Because
check.
you
Her
gotta
name,
tie it in.
her name, yeah, I agree with that. It has to be tied in. But see, that's what I don't understand with the bloodline. Real quick, I did a real quick check. It is Ava
Yeah,
Rain.
it's Ava. Okay.
Ava Rain, but spelled with a R A I N E, not like Reigns, like with the R yeah, like Reigns on something.
Like Roman Reigns.
I Reign.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, so it's Ava Rain. So that's her name. So yeah, but I agree with you.
Yeah, that's a bad name.
Ava Rain, like,
Yeah.
just say I don't know.
She should have been called the Boulder. No, I'm just joking. Homage to the Rock.
Maybe they'll change her name. They'll, when
It could be when she joins.
She's super green right now. First of all, so they're taking time developing her. That's one of the things I do appreciate with WWE, like their development, how they take their time. Like they'll take their time until so you don't look stupid on camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're on TV on NXT, I feel like you've definitely made it. But if I ever was on NXT, just as a person, I would fear moving up because it's been everyone who's gone up hasn't made it at all. There's no pushes. Like the biggest push was Austin Theory, and all he did was ruin two other people's careers, and now he's with that Aussie boy.
Well, hold on. I'm gonna jump on
what a fall
and me and Chuck have said this when Vince was, you can say, marketing him, right? It was horrible. I hated it. But when Triple H took over and gave Theory for like that short, brief moment of like seriousness, like
it worked for a little bit. It worked for a little bit. And then after a while, we were like, "Oh yeah, you're still Austin."
Remember? But yeah, because Vince came back
seriously at all. Like we don't care you grew a beard. We don't take you seriously.
Like, but no, see, I think it was more because Vince came back. Vince came back.
And I mean, honestly, to me, Theory had that John Cena template. Yes. He's a cookie cutter, and I think he could be pushing that company to the next level, but they're doing him wrong, in my opinion. Yes. And I feel the same way for everyone who's come up from NXT, like Tommaso Ciampa. Him, and now he's in DIY. They used to have epic matches.
Look how long they took to reform DIY. It took them like a year to reform them, and everybody was rumoring it and saying, "Oh, when are they going to get back together?" And then now they got back together finally, and then now they got them kind of sidelined because they don't really have
exactly. They got sidelined again. Everyone from NXT it's sad because there's just so much. In my opinion, like Carmelo Hayes, I actually enjoy watching. Ron Breaker's a fake Goldberg, and it's horrible watching it. His mic skills are dog off.
That's crazy. Well, his father wasn't much on the mic, but his uncle was Big Papa Pump.
Yeah, I mean,
that booty daddy.
Man, I want
to. His gimmick, like he went from, like he literally went from college boy
straight wrestler.
We wrestle. That's all we do. To just morphed into this character, like
them roids is real, son.
Holla if you hear me.
Then that gimmick was overwashed with his so-called brother barking at everyone like he was Junkyard Dog and reincarnated. I couldn't do it. I was like, man, this is the worst. But they wrestled great together.
They were so good, yo.
And I miss
nobody could do suplexes like the Steiners. Like they were so good.
You mean as a pair or solo?
As a pair, because they both did suplexes differently. Now Scotty for aesthetic was the best suplexer because he had like 10 or 12 different suplexes. like they were all different types of suplexes. Like and Rick, Rick had his own style suplexes. So
his was just straight up dirty though.
They were
if he did it, it hurt you.
Yeah. Basket handle type throws, whereas Scotty would do more T-bone suplexes, more different types of. Oh man, Scott Steiner's a freak, man. I was thinking about it, like even when they were a tag team, he was doing Frankensteiners, standing Frankensteiners.
Yeah, I was gonna say by himself.
He's
like 250
anymore, man.
He's like 230, 250 doing standing Frankensteiners and really doing them. Not half-ass doing them. I'm talking about doing them. Like that's how much of it. Those guys were athletes, man. They were really from Michigan. Like
it's like Diamond Mine.
Yeah.
Those two brothers, the Creed brothers, in my opinion, just another. I don't want to say rip off, but elevated version of the Signers, and I think they're great.
See NXT. I don't. I JB. I guess I gotta start watching.
You have to, man. I tell you, I
Look,
watch it from time to time.
I watch it because, all right. So as a fan of WWE,
You've
I
always
feel like the
watched
product
NXT though, right?
stayed
So
the
that's
same.
why. But you've always watched NXT, so it's a thing. See, I think my thing, like I was
Listen, man, NXT is down here in Florida, baby.
yeah, it's
You
true.
know,
Oh yeah, have you been?
2.5. It's 2.5 hours up from me, and actually, I forgot what pay per view they had in June. I was in Universal, and we drove back. Me and my son, and Aiden was pissed, man, because we were literally like 20 minutes away from the performance center where they had the pay per view, and we come home, and I'm like, yeah, they have the pay per view tonight. It was like, well, we could have stayed up there, watch it, and I'm like, yeah, my bad, man. I'm like, my bad. Yeah, man. Hey, man, that's the beauty from not living in
It's
Connecticut
good
no
to
more,
it's
man.
good it's good to have that type of access,
It's good. Listen, Florida's good for business, man.
have that kind of
Florida's
development.
good for business.
You can go see, um, you know,
Yo, that's where I met. Oh man, George doesn't know the story, but yeah, I've seen Randy Orton, his wife and the kids, about like 4 or 5 years ago in Universal. Oh yeah, man. Yo, straight up
yeah, but
dude.
he lives down there
Uh,
too.
and freaking yo, Kim Orton, beautiful in person, man. And then I saw Kurt when he was actually the same day that I saw Randy.
Wait,
Yeah,
Kurt
Kurt.
Angle?
Yeah, he couldn't
Was
walk,
that
bro.
TNA version? Oh no, okay.
No, no. When he came back to the WWE and he was he was just making like little,
You
you
didn't have
know,
Commissioner.
so you didn't have the privilege
yeah.
of meeting Kirk Angle.
No, 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 no. He was
The
just
legend, the myth known as Kirk
yeah, no, he
Angle.
was he was just walking like he couldn't really walk. I'm like,
Yo,
damn, in my
if you,
mind, I was like, I'm
yeah, I can see why.
I
Like,
was
if you see
leaving.
those
I
Kirk
was
Angle
leaving
memes,
though.
like that time he was at TNA, he was doing some wow. Like,
Yo, but what I'm saying is when I was walking, leaving the theme parks, I'm like, damn, you about to walk in here and you can't even walk. You about to stand in these lines. But then again, no, you know what? Never mind. They're not gonna stay in those lines. Cause like even Randy, they put him to the back of the there's like a like back entrance to get on the rides, and he was
I was
going
about
to
to
the
say they
double
definitely got
ring.
that extra fast
Oh
pass.
yeah, man. Oh
you got
heck
to,
yeah, dude.
because
Like that's the thing about here, man.
have to
Like
do
I told Chuck all the time, dude. Like damn, what's that wrestler, Chuck, that I always tell you, man? She holds the Florida Cosplay Championship, and she was the champion for AEW. What's her name?
Champion of AEW?
Chris
She
Statlander.
was the women's champ. Yeah,
No,
she
Chris Statlander's TBS champ.
well, no, well, what I'm saying,
Before
she's a for
Julia Hart now.
AEW. She had or yeah, she had the title anyways.
Julia Hart.
But she does in Florida. They got a cosplay like wrestling,
Oh,
and
word.
yeah, so she's always like in like Florida SuperCon. They have their own little wrestling thing, dude, where they wrestle and they have the championship belt, and she holds the title for it.
Oh, word.
Yeah, dude. That's what I'm telling you, man. Down here, man,
So we all
it's
think
a
that.
different breed.
So do we all think that basically Punk's first feud would be Nakamura?
I think so. I say yes. It has to be. And I'm telling you this, and I know Chuck
Like
don't believe
let's
me.
try to book out his like next 6 months.
Nah, I feel
Oh,
like it's
then
gonna be straight to the throat at Jay.
At
CM Punk.
Yeah,
to who?
Jay Uso.
To Jay
CM
Uso.
Punk to Jay
Hear me out.
Uso.
Okay.
It's not gonna be
Oh,
a big
this is
feud. It's not gonna be a big
this.
feud. They're gonna have him start there because you have everyone else still gunning for Jay, essentially. And if we've seen Punk anything from AEW, he likes to be in the middle of other people's BS. He
Okay,
doesn't start his
okay.
own. He doesn't start his own feuds. He ends up being in someone else's mix and then prevails. So why not start off with Jay and then either jump in against Cody or Seth Rollins.
I get what you're saying because I forget sometimes.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
This dude sometimes likes to do things that you don't expect him to do. Like, and that's one of them, getting into feuds with people or getting into feuds with people that you don't expect. Because I remember when he first, like you said, AEW, he had some weird starting matches, like Lee Moriarty. He was wrestling all these other
Dude from FTR.
Yeah, like so.
I think it was Dax. Yeah, he wrestled Dax, and they had like 2 matches back to back. I'm like, why are you wrestling Dax for?
Yeah, like, man, in retrospect, it's like you look at his time there, man, they've squandered it so badly. And again, a lot of it was because of injuries, but it's like, dude, man, you had this dude there and you didn't get no Punk and Brian.
You didn't capitalize.
You get Punk and Brian.
That's it.
You didn't get.
I mean, the best arc he had to me was when he was facing Ricky Starks and Ricky was trying to go for gold. So now that they fired him, they gave him tag belts.
Look what he did. Look what he did. See, and again, this is what I love about Punk. The people, the critics, right? He elevates people he's with. And if he's in a fuse with you, he's gonna elevate you. And what did he do?
Yeah.
He elevated Bullet Club because they were doing nothing until Punk got Collision. Like, Jay White should be sending him champagne like every fucking holidays because Tony Khan wasn't doing anything with him until Collision started, and then Punk started using him in a lot of those bangers, those matches they were having. They were bangers too. Them three ways, 4 ways, pause. But
yeah,
I'm gonna let you know, son, Charles. I meant to tell you, congratulations on that Tony Khan hate. I was watching your podcast this morning. I was like, yo, facts. The boy is a child running a company.
Thank you.
Yeah, for real.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Thank you.
When I was there at that Collision event, he came out. He even came out like I don't want to call him soft, but he really came out like he was afraid.
Nah, man, he's soft.
In the arena.
Stop it.
He like waved casually and was like, "I'm Tony Khan." I'm like, bro, I think we know you at this point. You don't have to announce
fucking shimmying down the aisle, probably. It's like, dude, you're supposed to be a leader of men. These are men.
You're the boss, right? Like, act like it.
Top guy. You're the leader of men. Like,
you signed that check.
He just could not handle that whole situation. That whole thing. Even Brawl Out. He shouldn't have allowed Brawl Out to even happen. How did it happen? How did you allow it to happen? Just like, remember JB? So I was so upset, and I'm glad he bring this up because he wasn't there. We have a lot of these discussions that George wasn't there, right? And one of the discussions I was having, I was so upset about what happened at All In with Jungle Boy is like, how Tony, how did you let this happen? How? You were backstage.
Even if it did happen, you should have let it happen and be like, y'all done.
You've seen what he literally backstage in a quote unquote gorillas position. Mm-hmm. You've seen what Jungle Boy did. You've seen what he did during the match. You've seen it. And you should know off rip. Where's Phil? Somebody go get Phil. Let's handle this. What were you doing? What were you doing in handling that situation? Nothing.
To play devil's advocate, he had the rest of the show to manage.
He's terrible at managing talent. That is true. I've watched this we're wrestling fans for almost 40 years.
Facts.
We've seen different management in those 40 years. And I'm not gonna say he's terrible because he's still learning, but to flip it up and make it a little positive is, like I said last night, this is just hopefully this Punk situation, which is all business.
Like a wake-up call.
This is business that happened. And this is what's so crazy about Punk. Like, I think Punk just goes over people's heads. He's like a master chess player. That's why I like him, because a lot of what he do go over people's heads. They don't really
I think he knows he got that juice. I think he understands he got that juice.
That's what Triple H
after so many years
said. That Triple H said he's always talked about. Like, whether you love him or hate him, he's always talked about.
Yeah, no, very true. It's like, like an Austin, right? He's definitely got that. You either love to love him or you really hate him because whether he's too old or he doesn't belong somewhere. He's bad for business in
thing,
the
the thing,
backstage.
the thing that makes me upset is being like a businessman and seeing how things is created and stuff in my personal life, and seeing how Tony Khan. I don't care about the feelings and how other wrestlers felt because some liked them, some didn't. But who cares? This happens all the time. You think people liked Ultimate Warrior? They fucking hated him. Like, but guess what? He was great for business.
Yeah,
Motherfucking
yeah.
warrior paint all in the audience, them bright neon colors, business. And this was what Punk was trying to teach these kids when he was there. Every promo, half of his promos was talking about business. Business,
Yeah.
business, business, business. We're trying to make business here. Are you guys trying to make business? No, you want to be friends and hold your hands and everybody's having a great time and making money. But at the end of the day, it's about business. And if you can't put asses in seats,
Yeah.
which you're having a hard time doing, by the way, today, putting asses in seats, this is a part of that. You
You
can't
ain't
let
lying.
your
When I was
you
there
can't
on
let your
Collision,
draw, you can't let your draw blow up in a situation backstage with some fucking jabroni that's not in your A card.
I mean, think about it. His dad is Perry, though, right? Like 90210 is relevant. You gotta fire them both. You know, you gotta
He's
do that.
irrelevant. And Jack is no longer here anymore. God rest his soul. Like he doesn't. He's learning again. He's learning, and I'm hoping that this is a learning moment for him because, like he said, I called him on the last podcast. One Bill Phil. He called himself One Bill Phil because that's how you got the Collision deal. Now Collision's probably who knows what's gonna happen to Collision because, like I said to JB, I would not be surprised if they cancel it at some point because if WWE is gonna keep doing Saturday pay-per-views, your boots are cooked.
Which is, I think, the best thing, by the way. The best thing is, and I even said this when I was a kid, why not Saturdays? You know what I'm saying? Sundays, you could talk about it. Like, you don't, your parents are not telling you to go. You got to be in bed. You got to be in bed. Yo, Saturdays are perfect to have pay-per-views.
You know, everything can be fixed with Adam Copeland, though, right?
No, you can't. No.
We've seen that.
No,
We've already seen it.
It hasn't done nothing.
This is what it did.
They're too late. It's too late.
Oh, how they do it? What's that thing called? That's all it was. That flat line. That's the worst, actually.
I'm surprised they didn't do it.
But it doesn't go up or down.
Anything.
It just goes like this. That's bad because that means no reaction.
Yeah.
It's like
you can't really do anything now. You can't.
And here's to give AEW a little big up. To me, I feel like they're wrestling, period. Whether it's luchadors or actual entertainment.
Luchadors are great.
And that's why they're my preferred brand. There you go. Get to it, George. That's why they are my preferred. They still are. That's what's so crazy. That's why
they hit me as WCW days. The reason why I tuned into WCW, their wrestling was just more impactful. It was just more real.
More believable.
There was even with their botches, you knew it hurt. Like it was great.
And they wrestlers get hurt.
Yep. But at least with WWE, I see their botches. It's like complete air misses, and they still act like they got hit. And I'm like, dude, you were missed a mile away. How are you, quote unquote, hitting the head?
But hey, AEW was like that the first 2 years.
Exactly. But see, again, and that's the learning curve.
Yes. Because I used to be like, what am I watching? Like, you're representing Jacksonville right now. I was watching it. You're representing Jacksonville. That was when they were always in Jazz.
Just on a business level, man, I hate to go back to this dude and just kind of harp on it. But again, I'm so aggressive with it because I do really truly like AEW. It's my favorite out the two.
Same here. I love their trios matches are phenomenal.
Yeah, they always they nail it on this stuff. And my issue
like Young Bucks, I enjoy them.
I can't.
With Kenny Omega.
No.
Oh, if you want to add Kenny to it, but I respect the Young Bucks because of what
I don't.
Done.
It's funny. Me and Chad saw them at SuperCon.
My man's so mad he walked away from the bid. Damn.
Yo,
I respect the Bucks because of what they've done. Like again, I remember when they were fucking jobbers in TNA, and they had this whole gimmick, this whole rip off Rock and Roll Express Midnight Express thing, but it was kind of jazzed up a little bit modern day age, like, and it didn't stick really in TNA, and then that could have been it for them. But to their credit, they stuck with the shit, man. They stuck with it.
It's like the
With the
Miz, right?
ending.
You gotta
I
keep
love the
slightly
Miz.
inventing yourself just until you find what sticks.
Nah, man, don't disrespect him like that, man. The Miz is the Miz, bro. He's the real deal. He ain't no young buck.
Let's be honest. The Miz had like 15 transformation. He's like a Dragon Ball
Hell
Z
yeah.
character.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But
This nigga went through
that's the
12
key.
power ups.
That's the key to being a really
This boy said
that's the key to being
12
an
power
effective.
ups.
That's the key to being an effective entertainer.
Yeah.
That's the key to it. It's not
I know.
and that's what Miz be trying to say to his detractors, because he got a lot of detractors because they don't look at him as like a purist. Because but Miz, to his credit,
I mean, he's not. That boy can't wrestle to save his life, in my opinion. He just knows how to push
Miz,
people over.
but what the Daniel Bryan say when their feud had their feud in the whole SmackDown blow up, he was calling them
He wrestles safe.
say you're safe. You're too
Mhm.
Yeah. That dude is the safest thing.
You know why? You know what safe is? Bland.
Yep.
I mean, you're right. That's like cooking chicken with no salt or pepper. Like, you missed that whole step.
And it's unfortunate because I like them as I was from the beginning of his story. I'm a fan of the real world. Like, I watched it and I'm a fan of the
I
challenge.
like his road to success.
I love his road to success and and where it took. I remember him when he created the Viz character. I followed him his whole career. Like, so to see him be a Hall of Famer, because he is, and it's unfortunate that
No, facts.
we're going to be taken seriously because he himself allowed his character to be taken unseriously. The problem
and
is
be relevant.
yes, because the problem is when you keep saying yes to Vince, everything Vince says, eventually you become irrelevant. You become a joke. They don't take you serious. Like,
Yeah, like the golden boy.
Yep. And credit to Chris Jericho for getting away before getting out of there before it got to that point. Because they were trying to do that with
What?
They're trying
Hold on, man. Don't get on the list.
every move, every feud he lost.
Don't get on the list.
Yeah, but to his credit, he's an all-time great. He's gonna make lemonade out of lemons, but like, they didn't have plans really for him. They was gonna treat him like the Miz. They was gonna have him do all these great segments and get into these unnecessary feuds to put guys over and really, really devaluing his greatness. And then after a while, what happens is it's like, oh, we're not gonna take his dude serious. He's gonna lose, or he's always putting.
Yeah, they did the same thing with Ric Flair. The man he's like the oldest guy actually who physically wrestles. And I mean, let's be honest. At that age, I don't think even kids would understand that an older person would beat someone young and spry.
Yeah, no.
But to have them there just to get pushed over and beat on, it's awful.
It is, but a lot of times too, it's like, yo, again, just to
Listen, man.
Punk. What we're learning is what Punk is like. It goes back to that. Like, I have to segue him back into this is because the guy, you love him or hate him, is a draw. If he wasn't a draw, he wouldn't be able to move to UFC.
Yo, facts. Oh man, I cried.
AW.
I actually cried with that UFC career.
I think he got into that. He got into it a little too. He got into it. He got into it too late.
Late, yeah.
He's already like late 30s when he got into it. Like,
and his last match, he was in his 40s.
His haters, man. Listen, you go in the ring and do that, and you're in a time frame that it's too late for you to do it. And number one, number two, remember he went against Mickey Gall. That kid was good. He ended up, I think, almost winning a title or something like that. Like, Mickey Gall was really good. Like he wasn't fighting Ham and Eggers. He was fighting like people that was coming up, that was actually on their way. So
that last match he had, though, that dude got fired from the UFC. Like, no one wanted to pick him up because he utterly destroyed Punk in a disrespectful way. And when I read that, I was like, well, that's Punk's. He's done with his career. And funny enough, he had technically like 2 more matches.
Yeah.
to me, I found out he's like one of the few to get away. Like Anderson Silva, after he broke his leg, he still had like 4 or 5 matches he had to complete for his contract. And watching the greatest, in my opinion, the GOAT, literally go out in those last 4 horrible matches was like the saddest thing to watch.
A lot of people said that. Yeah.
And it's
I
like,
mean,
it's like Jordan coming back playing on the Wizards, right? Like, yeah, you put up numbers. You're not saying that you're not good, but like you weren't what you were.
You're not this version. Right there.
Yeah, yeah, for real. You're not, you weren't even the sliver.
The guy
That's
holding up 6. You're not that.
the
Right.
GOAT.
So yeah, so I'm excited to see what's to come next with this whole Punk thing. Now it's ramifications for everyone. What happens to Cody now? Is Cody gonna
Listen,
Cody don't even talk about finishing the story anymore. You notice that, right?
that's
well, that's
sad.
That shit
because
is out of
listen,
here.
man, it's not. It's only because of Roman. That's because of Roman. That's not. Listen, that story's gonna come back. They already sprinkled it a little bit. What was it? 2 SmackDowns ago. That story is gonna come back. That story is gonna come back on WrestleMania. I think Cody versus Roman. I think Roman will finally lose and he'll take his break. I know he wants to do a movie or something like that. I don't know what's planned out. I bet you anything he's probably going to be in the live action Mohana movie with The Rock. I mean, I can see it happening. I can see it happening. He said he wants to take a break and he wants to
He got a
do maybe
bunch of
some
daughters
acting.
too, don't he? So
I mean, I was gonna
Yeah,
say for
so
WrestleMania, it'd be perfect if it was Cody and Seth. Cody
nah,
winning.
because he doesn't want that. He doesn't want that title. He wants Roman's title. It's gonna be listen, what's going to happen is you're gonna get what we all want when it comes to Seth. You're gonna get Seth versus CM.
yeah, you're gonna get it. But
You're
we
gonna get if
don't know.
you really wanna fuck people's mind and give a big fuck you to AEW, WrestleMania night 1. And I think if they do it night 1, night 2 is not going to be as big. And next year, 2025, I can see WrestleMania just being a one night event again.
No,
And
they
it will.
can't go back to one nighters. I think they get COVID ruined them, and they having the two
I
nights.
feel you, but
They made way too
man,
much money in these 2 nights.
Yeah, think about
no,
it.
They
I
not
You're
gonna
agree.
make.
forcing these
They
people,
make a ton of
who
money.
spend like 10 grand to sit in one seat. Now they got to pay. I think it's like 14 for 2 nights. So they see that people are still willing to, spend that cheese. I don't see them going back to one night.
That 2 nights is
I see it in that standpoint.
it's too much money they making. It's like
If
NFL.
anything, their second big event, which is SummerSlam, I see that becoming a 2 nighter.
Yeah, I okay.
Just to take more money from the fans. Not like it's a good idea. I think it'd be awful, but
Yeah.
I believe it would just be something where they expect fans to keep paying, which is insane.
Yeah. Listen,
Yeah, but you know what? They're getting that money.
that's that is definitely capitalism at its finest. Like we're
Yeah.
gonna keep doing as much as you allow us to. If you're gonna pay for it, we're gonna keep doing, and we're gonna keep
No,
doing it
you're
until you
right.
don't pay for it. And they gonna
That's true.
so
I
man,
mean, I was one of those fans that was afraid during the pandemic, like wrestling was going to be over. Like, I'm like, how far are they going to go? Wrestling with masks on?
but to their credit, they figured it out. I mean, it was one of the few uh entertainment vessels we had during that time. Like it was really
Yeah,
live.
they got us through it. I'll admit
They
that.
did. They did. They did the best they
My
could.
Monday nights were definitely like, I can't wait to see this.
Yeah, especially
Yeah.
when they had to, all the I forgot what they call it with all the
Screens.
screens with the
Yeah.
universe. They tried. You can only do what you can do at that time, and to their credit, they survived. They survived. I mean, the movies almost didn't survive. So the theater,
Yeah, for real. The TV shows, as I'm getting older, you watch TV shows and they're like, well, the actors can't act. because of COVID. So it's like, well, there goes 2 seasons gone.
Exactly.
But wrestling stuck around. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, and that's just a testament to this art form. This art form's been around for decades. So
Yo, facts.
and it's not going away anytime soon. Now you got it being integrated more into sports now with the whole UFC thing, and now those two merging, and ESPN deal with the Big Ten.
You know what? I wanted to touch on that because you said something, I believe, on the podcast last night. You think there'll be some crossovers?
Absolutely.
I don't know if it'll be crossovers. They're gonna have Big E and Titus doing those Big Ten games. I think they're gonna be out there. They're probably gonna do like
This is for football.
interviews.
You being
Yeah, it's
crossover
gonna
with
be just
UFC?
for
Yeah, UFC. Like we had what Punk, Lashley,
I think
and Brock.
I could see Punk being a crossover on the commentary team.
Okay.
That's a crossover.
yeah. I can see
Like,
that. Yeah,
I
those
would
things I
watch
can
that.
see.
Him with
Because I
Rogan.
mean, you got Shayna Baszler, well, no longer Matt Riddle, but those two were like active,
Yeah.
cage fighters.
Yeah, and but you can incorporate them in different ways. Like even if it's like doing interviews, you're interviewing another fighter on ESPN. You get what I'm saying? Like, yo, they're thinking like that now. Like this merger has put them in even more into the mainstream. So
That's right, because then you
they're
can get the
Disney. They're
cameos
not
of like
even thinking
Cena.
about. Yeah, that's why they keep saying this. Like, that's why they keep saying it to the AEW, like the AEW fandom. And they just like, yo, we're not we worried about you, but we're not really worried about you. Like we over here, we're trying to do global domination. Like, we're gonna put you in your place from time to time, which we did last night. We're gonna put you in your place from time to time and say no, no.
Yeah, I don't see that as a bounce back for AEW.
What? Who? Like
No,
I
no, no, that's what I'm saying. I don't
no, I
see
mean, so
them.
yeah, like because back to Punk again. Because the universe, he's Thanos in this universe, right? So like,
He already
Punk,
snapped his fingers, man.
Punk,
It's done.
yeah, he snaps his fingers.
Dang,
Hey,
there's
he
there's
snaps his
no
fingers and he's
Thor,
gonna
there's
be
no
yeah.
Tony
So
over there in
the thing
AEW
is
though.
with Punk is like he was the company's biggest draw. To this day, he's still the company's biggest draw. They didn't replace him.
Yeah, you said some wild numbers. You went
Well,
from like
they did
5,000 to
though.
3,000.
They
You
they
Yeah,
said.
re- listen. They
don't even
replaced them
believe
with
me.
add-on.
Check, and I should have did that. I should have been more prepared and came on with more something concrete. But if you go out there for you guys too, if you are still watching this video, you're a nut, and I appreciate it. But like, if you go out there and check the numbers for yourself, the collision numbers have dipped right after CM Punk was terminated. Now, if you want to say
Wow.
so, even if you was a hater about Punk and all, it's not because of Punk and this, that, and the third. Well, it's pretty odd. Explain it. If it's not
What
him,
they say? Numbers don't lie.
yeah, one bill Phil,
You ain't lying.
one bill Phil. Like if your numbers go from that and then as they dip in a little under and they barely getting around 300 to 400,000 from where it was, and then now WBE doing oh we're gonna keep sticking it to you. We took Cody.
Listen, I think
Now
I think that was
hold up.
Triple
You got a
H.
couple guys. You got a couple wins. Let's be clear. They got a couple wins. They got Jay White. They got they picked up Will. They got Will. I love Will Ospreay. So that's they.
You like Will Ospreay?
He's phenomenal. Like talent.
That's his guy.
Like
I guess I should give him a chance because I watch him. I'm just like, he's the Aussie kid, right? He was in the tag team and his partner got hurt.
Will Ospreay is him and Kenny. They are attacked.
none.
Yeah, classic matches with him and Kenny Omega.
Wow.
Him and Ospreay had a classic this past few months. Like him and Will Ospreay, check him. Like he's basically a younger Kenny. Like
Honestly, I didn't know who Kenny Omega was
younger English Kenny.
until AEW, and I mean that
I
guy
got wind of him.
seems to be really good.
I got wind of him before that, like because I started to pay attention a lot more to New Japan when AJ went there. When AJ went there, I started to pay more attention. because he ended up joining the Bullet Club and all
Was that after TNA?
that. TNA went, and that's why I still have AJ in high regard. I have to put AJ still, in my
He's
top.
active and he's on the back burner right now.
Exactly. You haven't
That's so weird. Yo,
he hasn't
WWE
even
does
he
this
hasn't
so
even
bad.
done he hasn't even done, but still, again, back to Thanos, Punk. Now you can, as WWE, you have a lot of stuff you can set up.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. You did them too.
They never touched. To my knowledge, I don't think they've.
But I would have that. I would have that though after Seth. I would have that after the Seth.
You imagine? Oh yeah.
No, you know what? As a Punk fan, honestly, now that you say that, I think I'd prefer the AJ match. Like that's bigger. You sell that as their first time, and they're both.
SummerSlam. Why not SummerSlam next
Rumble.
year? SummerSlam. You want it hot, right? You want it hot, right?
I mean, you're right, but I don't want to.
right?
I don't want to wait, man.
But why not?
I don't.
Rumble.
I don't want another
you got
ankle.
AJ, but not see you right now. You got AJ in the back burner. They're not. Listen, Seth is not. I'm not Seth. CM Punk ain't gonna wrestle anytime soon. They're gonna. I have a feeling Triple H, because they said it. There was like reports that they had it was what was it? Today's Sunday. So Friday they had a big conversation. They were saying him and Triple H and CM Punk. They had like a long day conversation about what was gonna drop yesterday and moving forward, right? So with that being said, I think there's a lot of conversation on what was done in AEW. I think they both Triple H, first of all, I mean, me and Chuck said this. He heard what I'm saying was talking. You know what I'm saying? He heard.
That passive nonsense you were saying last night. Like I don't
Twitter
listen
fingers.
to these words.
Think about it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Again, this goes back to business.
Have...
This goes back to business. Real quick, I'm gonna let you finish.
Yeah.
I did a Kanye on him, but the thing is, like, we don't know. These guys are petty guys. Like,
yeah,
Hunter could have definitely, who knows, that point of the week been like, yeah, we thinking about bringing Phil back, but I don't know. I don't think so. And then who knows? Twitter finger gets on his Twitter machine and starts saying something crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Then it probably motivated him a little more to make this happen. Like, okay. For me, that's for me. Okay, I got you. Your top draw. I'm gonna have him show up in Chicago.
Yeah.
Yo, I mean, it was perfect, aligned perfect for Chicago, and just
on the night of
his hometown. Yeah. That speaks volumes.
You don't play fair. CM doesn't.
You should never. You should never. I mean, like, the best shit talking the game right now is what's MJF. Yeah, he takes shots at WWE
all the time. So what I'm trying to say is they have it where I don't want to say it's like the Roman thing where Roman has control on what he does and things of that nature. I just think that they both talked. They both got things planned out. To this day, even though Chuck thinks like it's, it was just more of a performance, I just don't think Seth wants him there at all. I think his outburst in the end was like a legit outburst. Like if I would have saw somebody that I can't stand just show up to like a house party, I'm gonna act like Seth.
I think he had that. I think he milked.
They have that feud. They have that feud in like real life because when they came up as the Shield, so many times Punk has been on record reporting about like issues with just Seth Rollins. He would say Mox barely could wrestle. He still seems green, but why is Seth Rollins doing these moves that actually injured people? And then shortly thereafter, he's the one who hurt Seth Rollins. I mean, not Seth. He hurt Finn Balor with that turnbuckle bomb on the barricade. Took him out.
I forgot about that.
So it's not the first time I heard it, but I'm like, I believe
another one. You know what? You want another one that he put on the shelf? Sting.
Yeah.
Was that tag match with him and H?
Belt
I
buckle
think
bomb.
so.
Bro, and then he stopped doing it for a long time, and
My
then I
man say,
saw
what my man say, what my man say. This is why, again, CM Punk over people's head. Tell me when I'm saying lies. People get upset because this is yo, that's what it is at the end of the day. He's gonna tell you some real hard truth. And people just
pipe bomb.
like that shit. They don't like hard truths. You're an asshole. You're this, you're that. If you give people hard truths, they look at you as if you're an asshole. Like Seth was
Yeah,
hurting people. That was well established, well in himself, hurting people and himself for a while. And to his,
yeah.
he changed his style up. He wrestles a lot more safer, but
Mm-hmm.
that's no choice. He was starting to hurt himself along with
He
others.
was hurting people in the beginning with that curb stomp.
Yeah, he was.
I forgot who it was. Someone reported that they literally had an abrasion or contusion in his spine from the first or third curb stomp he delivered to somebody. I was like, well, that's freaking awful. Why is that move still there?
I mean, honestly, like I was saying, man, they don't like each other. That's going to
But
sell
that's something he
WrestleMania.
said. But that's something he said. In between 9 years, and it wasn't.
Yeah, but
It
it don't
wasn't
matter,
not
dude,
true.
man.
It wasn't not
But
true. And I think Seth looked at it like. And I think Seth looked at it maybe like
no,
Like he don't
Seth
want
took
me.
it
He don't want me
personal,
here.
man.
this is a
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
mentor.
Seth took it personal. That's it.
It's a
Like that's what.
this is a like kind of a mentor to me. Like again, because let's be real. Like I said to
Mhm.
JB in the other video, I said, look, all of these dudes is Punk's sons. Whether it's whether it's they all was inspired by him. Whether it's Seth, Malachi Black, uh, you name them, they was all inspired by him, or Brian. Either those two, Punk or Brian, that inspired
You're
the
right.
whole generation.
Daniel Bryan didn't get his super push until the pipe bomb.
But he was already an indie legend when he got to WWE, and I didn't know that because I wasn't paying attention to Ring of Honor. Like,
Yeah, I mean he was a
so
small
he was a
dude. That's right.
yeah, but he was a legend there. Like he already was cemented as like one of them top rests like in the world at that time. See, I didn't know that
Jay
because
Lethal. I mean, they just so wow. Ring of Honor have produced so much hitters.
that's why I think that I said it when Tony Khan made that deal. I said that right there is going to keep the business around. Right now, it don't seem like it, but that it's not about what they're producing now. It's the fucking archive. He was able to get that archive because guess
Mhm.
what? You got all of Punk's classic ROH matches. You got all of Samoa Joe's classic RH matches, all of Brian's classic RH matches. These
AJ.
guys, AJ, these guys that built like today's wrestlers that do all of these spots and shit is because of them guys. That's
Yeah.
so that's why I say MJF. These are sons of Punk.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. MJF gives me that Austin Punk vibes when he's on the mic.
I like
His
MJF.
bravado is way too high, but his ring talent honestly reminds me of Austin, where like don't expect anything cookie cutter or even splendid. It's just to me a little over.
you don't think he didn't get better?
Oh no, he's gotten a lot better. Not just a little better. Like since he's became champ and now runs the place essentially, he's wrestled a lot better. And
He
I
had
think
no
it's
choice.
probably due to this dude, well, he's injured now, uh Adam Cole.
Could be. And
You know,
another
the
son of.
stupid
By the
kangaroo
way,
kick and just
another son of Punk. By the way, Adam Cole.
Adam Cole?
Yeah,
Really?
he's inspired by Punk as well. Like,
Hmm.
so it's
I
like, bro,
think
that's what I'm saying. Like, so the thing is, like, I'm just hoping that because again, what the only thing that Tony Khan can do at this point is he has the international thing on lock. I like that about that company, about AEW, is what they do and
Oh, what is it? Forbidden Door and stuff like that?
stuff like
I
that.
believe
And with this tournament that they're doing now is all international. So the Continental Classic, um tournament that they're doing is basically kind of a replica of what they do in New Japan with the G1 Classic. So they're trying to do it.
I was going to ask your opinion on that. How do you really feel? I feel like they're doing too much, and it doesn't. There's no stable lines.
So the going criticism and joke with AEW is they got too many fucking belts. So
I mean that is true.
So now you're creating.
That's what WWE needs to do. Create some more shit. They do. I'm sorry.
With this, they've created these belts. They're creating a whole new belt by.
Are they really?
Yes, but so they're merging. So in the Continental Classic, it's a triple crown. So the idea is you're gonna win you're gonna win the Ring of Honor World Championship and the New Japan Strong Style Championship, and then you're gonna win the Classic, the Continental Classic Championship, which is for what the tournament is. So apparently, all of those merged into the Continental Championship. So
how does MJF fit into that?
So you could defend it. You could defend that Continental Championship. It is a recognized title for New Japan and for Ring of Honor.
Okay, so it's a belt for all three brands,
basically. But
wow.
But I like the idea, but now it completely contradicts Orange's belt.
Yeah, I can't stand
international championship.
Whoa! What is your beef with this cool suaverato? Like,
I like it. I like Orange. I like Orange. The guy can wrestle.
I do too.
He's proven he can wrestle already. I love his gimmick.
I hate the gimmick.
That no one else has ever done. And
I see why nobody has ever done. It's why
he's pulled it off because it's brand new. No one's ever seen it. I love it. I love it.
I love
it. What about Orange? Give me something solid. I need something solid just so I can believe the hate.
Oh, not me.
Like, is it his wrestling? Is it his wrestling?
You know when you just see somebody, you just want to punch in the face.
Godly, I mean, every day.
Just him and Rick Stark, whatever. Those
Ricky
two,
Starks?
I can't.
Ricky's good on the mic.
Chuck has tried to get me to like for Ricky. Like he's tried.
All right, so this is a hard truth that even now in my early 40s, I've come to understand wrestling at its core. You need those villains, right? The good guys can't be as good as they are without a terrible villain. And Ricky plays a real good bad guy. He gets under a lot of people's nerves. He speaks, and like you said, you want to just punch him in the face because you just don't like him. He's good at that. When he goes babyface, it makes no point.
And maybe that's why. Maybe I haven't seen him really with the heel, because that whole babyface stage just put so much of it in me that I just refuse to watch him.
Yeah, that was when he was holding the belt for almost a year as an FTR champ. I was like, dude, you're not even wrestling. You're on commentary.
Oh my God, yes. I couldn't. I couldn't.
I'm going to defend Ricky, and I'm going to also talk briefly about
So, go ahead.
I give credit for that as well by allowing Ricky to be Ricky on Collision, because Ricky didn't have time to be Ricky. Like, it was just Dynamite, 2 hours, and it's the Young Bucks Elite show. So you got to be jammed in there somehow, some way that makes sense. What Collision did was allow Ricky to be Ricky. Now, Ricky, to my knowledge, he's another one that I didn't know about before he got there. He was in NWA. He was the NWA world champ. He was the NWA's top star before he got there. And apparently, this Absolute character is more in line with this version of it is more in line of who he was in NWA. So, and I love it.
The gold chain, taco chest.
And I don't see Rock. Because why? Because he wears fancy clothes.
Yeah, the taco chest thing popping on like the Rocky Maravilla.
I think he's over the top. I think he dresses more like a model and shit. That's Ricky Stark's whole thing. Like, I'm dressing
Nah,
like a
see,
model.
I'm with Chuck. Nah, no. Hell no. I do not even see that. What? Chuck, why are you watching as a model?
No,
Chuck, no.
no, I'm
Chuck,
saying
no.
his
No. Can't. Nope.
No, he definitely
I'm
does
with
wear those
I'm
Hawaiian
with
shirts, the dress
I'm with
pants,
I'm with
the nice
Louis
Jordan
Sunday
Vuitton
Peele.
shoes.
bags, the Louis Vuitton bags, the fucking
No,
Louis
no,
loafers.
I mean,
Like,
just
no.
look at
come
his
on.
entrance. He comes
Look at
out,
his entrance.
posing. He
Mm.
poses for you, and then he like does that all nonsense
That's
walking
the
down the
gimmick.
ramp.
That's the gimmick.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just,
But now he's more
uh,
like, I'm the guy. I'm over the confidence is there. The confidence wasn't there because he
Yeah,
was given the time. Now he's got the time, and you're seeing a more confident Ricky Starks. And to his credit, he's had great fucking matches. Great matches. His matches with Bryan were great. He's had great matches with Punk. He's been killing it. So
yeah.
push that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Push him. Push Swerve. It's now that we, went from
yes.
we talking about
I'm so mad with that debacle. Like, Swerving Our Glory was one of my after New Day got sidelined with Big E's injury. Watching this guy get ruined as what they called them, Big Cat Bear Lee or something like that, right before he got let go, they ruined his character. Like, you had him as Keith Lee, great. Then you try to do the same Austin Theory thing, called him just Lee, that didn't work. And then he got hurt, came back as Big Back Cat Lee. And I was like, well, this is a really downfall for him. And then he got missing, showed up and then teamed with Swerve, and I thought that was great. And then their feud only pushed Swerve over, and it was supposed to be for Keith. And now I'm just
what's
waiting for this guy.
it's worse than that, George.
Oh,
What feud? They never even fucking wrestled. They never even had a match. Did they have a singles match?
I think they did. That's when he put that cinder block on Keith's chest and he
They jumped.
stomped it.
They jumped Keith Lee.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, they jumped him.
Yeah.
They never had a match.
Godly, man. See this.
Tony Khan, yay! Booker of the year. Guy can't book himself out of a paper bag.
Man. And I mean, Swerve is honestly now he's getting this push. I don't know in what direction. Like, he goes super villain, he goes just regular bad
Might as well
guy.
just goes.
Okay, so this is the thing with Swerve, and like I caught on. Like, I liked Swerve when he first got there, but now I love Swerve because Swerve is really morphed into this super villain character. He is supposed to be a super villain. I mean, he's done dastardly things already. Like, he did that.
Yeah,
shit.
showing up at this dude's house,
But even
talking into his kid's crib. That was dark.
Before then, like the Keith Lee attack. The remember the attack on Christian's boy, Nick Wayne. Remember, they went to Nick Wayne's.
Oh yeah, where they wrestled and bloodied him up.
Yeah, with AR Fox. They went there, beat the shit out of him in Seattle.
Yep.
And this. So Swerve's been already planning the supervillain character for a year now. It's just that now, like I said, he's getting more time and he's starting to really take. He's already not starting. He's off right now. Like, if you pay attention to any of the internet blogs or the comments or whatnot, they all want Swerve to be the next guy up. They all want him to be the next guy, the next champ. Like,
wow, I don't see him as champ material.
I see him as champ material.
Maybe it's because
he's got his gimmick. His gimmick is hot enough for it right now. I mean, the guy got his own court jester coming out in the ring with his own dance.
Oh, Prince Nana?
Yeah, it's his court jester. I call it a court jester. That's essentially what he is. Swerve come down serious, like a king. Coming down the ring. Nana,
I'm just glad that he stopped coming down with that.
Smile on his face, and Nana doing this. I love it though. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just glad he's no longer wearing that ski mask nonsense. Like, he's
he wears it sometimes. He wears it sometimes. I guess his real hood up there in the streets of Tacoma.
He's backed up by Big Ricky Ross, so he can't
But if
he can't look soft.
again, he's been consistent. And like even when Swerve was with Keith Lee, they would always say, Swerve, you can't trust him. He might swerve Keith and da da da. Swerve's character has always been kind of swervy, swirly kind of character that you can't trust. It's always been like that. So he's
That
just
brings it to light.
elevated it into it. He's just elevated it now into this super villain, and I love it.
All right. I mean, I don't not like the dude. I mean, him over MJF though. I don't know, man.
Yeah, no,
I'd miss the kangaroo kicks, man. I don't know.
Think about it though.
Yeah,
I would have booked it this way. I would have booked him to face MJF at World's End to beat him at Long Island. Because if you want him to really be the super villain, he has to be the super villain. MJF's your top baby face right now in the company. You got to have who's your top heel? Like Christian.
Wait. You think he evolved it into a baby face now?
He is. He got people chanting his name. He's doing kangaroo kicks and shit. He was just insulting these people.
No, I feel you, but I feel like he's like low tier bad guy, right? Like he's almost neutral at this point.
He's a scumbag. He said he's our scumbag, George.
I mean, he is my scumbag. I like
that's
him.
what I mean. But he was playing as a tweener in the beginning with the Adam Cole storyline, but he's evolved above that. He's a full-fledged babyface now. Like he's
full-fledged. Oh man.
Yeah. I'm surprised. Yeah, he's full-fledged babyface now. So
I still see him as a betweener because like he'll have his moments and then he comes back to doing a good deed.
Mox, that's a tweener.
Mox is so annoying, dude. The way Jay feels about Orange Cass Mox, to me, his wrestling hurts people. His wrestling is just, it makes wrestling look even worse.
Mox like you know what? Yeah.
See that bad?
When he's in the ring, I feel worse watching him in the ring. I feel like whoever he's going against, he's gonna make you look bad.
Wow.
And the sport worse.
Wait, you've never seen
lately he's just
I watch him. He just
you've never seen.
I don't know. Everyone around him looks better. Claudio is a better wrestler.
Oh yeah, well
Yuta's a better wrestler. Daniel Bryanson is a better wrestler. The fact that
wait, hold on, you really think he can't wrestle at all? Like he can
facts.
Wrestle. I think
I've seen his hip toss look awful.
Now this is my one criticism of Jon Moxley. I like John. Probably. Like I like John. He was always my favorite Shield member, which is funny.
What? Nah, Roman
yes.
No, yes. Roman was my guy.
Roman looked straight off the set of Twilight. Stop. Like,
oh my God, bro. This dude looked like he couldn't talk. He was straight up from the garbage, bro. What are you talking about?
Seth couldn't talk either. So who was talking? The man that kind of
nobody paid attention. Nobody paid attention.
No, all right. I don't mean to insult no one, so I'm gonna just give that disclaimer. But I felt like he had Tourette's and Down syndrome when he got on a mic.
Yes.
He was never coherent. He was saying random things, and like his violence or his liking for violence made no sense for regular matches. Like, I want to bloody you up, we're gonna bleed together, and I'm like, you're having a regular 3-pin fall. Like, what are you talking about?
He wanted to be Moxley in the WWE.
I still, bro, I can't, man.
That's why his whole Dean Ambrose character is a fragmented version of who he is now. Because this version is who he always was. He was a deathmatch.
Mox lately
he was
when
in
it comes to Mox
before he got to WWE. So
when it comes to Moxley, lately I feel like George.
I disagree.
Lately.
Good matches, He had a great match with Kenny when he won the belt off of Kenny.
But when was that? That wasn't lately. That's what I'm saying.
I'm trying to think.
Yeah, like the latest match. Well, okay, that was a few matches.
match.
Well, like Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Against Orange Cast,
He's had matches. Like you guys try to act like he's had good matches. He's had good matches. Like
I
I
think
now they're not all. They're not all. They're not all. Listen, like they said, they're not all. Like it.
bangers.
Yeah, they're not all bangers. Not all. They're not all tens, as they said it. David Spade said at the grown ups. They're not all tens, but like yeah, that's what Moxley. You know, he's not gonna hit it a home run on all of it, but he's gonna bring that intensity that I respect when his music comes on.
He's good in a mic. I'll give him that. He's
Now
really
the
good.
thing is, you know, yeah, that, but it's like he's got to the point now because again, they was making his character a joke, and he's not a joke. Like and he's successful in making the character the way he wanted to. Like he's not a joke. When his music hit, you know some shit is about to happen. Like
When I hear
that's
his
what he
music,
wanted.
you're right.
That's what he
All I
wanted.
get
That's what he
is
wanted. But that's what he
this dude's
wanted.
gonna come out and
It's like
make
Austin.
himself or you bleed.
It's like Austin. It's like, yo, you hear the glass break, you know some shit is about to happen. Table flipped open.
Yeah, but that's
Whatever.
See, but the difference between them both, Austin gave you the fun and whooping somebody's.
Yes.
When Mox
yes.
does it, I'm just like, why you gotta bleed so much? Or like,
oh, well, that's a criticism. No, well, oh wait, I said I was gonna give a criticism that drives me crazy. He is awful at selling.
Oh,
terrible. John, I'm talking Moxley.
Oh, okay.
When it comes to selling someone's move, oh, he is awful. Like he is awful. Like he can. I guess it depends on the guy he's with too. Like, but
yeah, chemistry is a good thing. But then there's like people like Cesaro.
He no sells a lot. Like he just no sell shit. Like you just be like, damn, John, like sell it a little bit more. like roll around on the floor a little more in pain. Like, damn, like he just
learn from The Rock. When you get stuttered, you do a push up into a flip over the rope. Like, I need something extra.
like like John just be on the floor, like, all right, now back into the next move. You'd be like, yo, you gotta milk this a little bit. But yeah, that's my only criticism. But other than that, I respect him. He's a workhorse, man. He was there for AEW through some dark times.
You're right. I'll give him that as my best compliment. When they really didn't have a good talent pool, he was there.
Good work ethic.
You know? You definitely had, your Hispanic female worker cleaning your stalls. Like, you counted on her to make sure everything was there. Was she known? Not really.
Really. But did she did she speak English? That's the key. We got to ask that question. If she speak English, and she didn't, we really didn't know her.
All right, you're right. So Mox spoke the English.
You say he's incoherent sometimes, and you don't really understand what he's saying. I think you can understand him a lot more in AEW now, I believe.
No, facts. Then when he was on WWE, no, 100%. So his character has evolved and he's gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
I mean, when they did let him talk in WWE, he was removing his gas mask and talking about how stinky people were and like upset he was with people.
By the way, he did. That was all Vince's idea.
Yo, I swear he be burying so many people. It's awful.
It was one of the reasons that whole last run when he came back. He talks about it. It's interviews you can find. That was one of the reasons why he left. He turned his deal down and left because it was just all that whole run, that whole last run. That's funny you brought that up. Like that was all Vince. That whole last year was all Vince. Like it was just that's how it was bad. And he was just like, I gotta go. I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, just like Cody. Like he mentioned in his video coming back, like that was Stardust. That was a good God awful. Oh my God. I felt so bad for his career. Like I get it at your brother's gold dust and to go ahead and pretend that you're that insane and start making weird gestures like that I couldn't do it. Horrible, man. I don't care. I don't think you could pay me. I mean, you'd have to pay me the exorbitant amount to be Stardust, but
that is commitment.
100%. You love the sport. He's a man.
He was loyal. He was loyal. And then give it credit to whatchamacallit, who played Green Arrow. that kind of like give it a little bit of a high tip on that character itself, but that was it. Like after that, it's just like there was nothing else. There was nothing.
Yeah, I mean,
There's nothing else
things
whatsoever.
at some point things kind of taper out, or it gets to it peaks out. And
Yeah.
I used to watch the New Day podcast, and there was one of the episodes they were talking about they were going to form the group together, and Vince was totally against the trio. But they were all individually getting swept under the rug. But they're like, yeah, if we're gonna get swept, at least we do it together. And they're like, okay, fine. You have like a few hours to come up with a name. Vince gave them 100 names, and they like gave the top 10 worst names. And it was like, this is what Vince thinks of for people. Like, so they came up with the New Day, and they're like, perfect. You're gonna have a gospel entrance, and I'm like, wait,
That was yes. It only lasted a month, by the way, because I hated that.
oh my god! I was like, dude,
It came with the Bible. It came with the Bible.
I was like, Vince is
New
awful.
Day.
Like, I swear his prejudice leaks into certain characters. I'm just like, why?
He's legendary for that stuff. I mean,
oh my god!
But the fact, like, no one in his team
so
fact checks him.
And like I've forgotten so much of it now. Now that I think about
Yo,
it.
that whole New Day. I told my son, I'm like, when they came out, I'm like, kiddo, was it about the pancakes, man? They came out with Bibles.
Oh man, it was so bad.
And it was the gospel music in the background. And then they had at one time the choir came out at one time.
Yep. And I'm glad that they remixed it.
They were, it lasted at
They did the
least
blackest thing, and they remixed that
right?
gospel thing and made it what they have now. Which to me,
like a month
genius.
or two afterwards, right? It was like a month or two after that gimmick, or it was a
I would say
more?
like 2 or 3 Raws, and then they were like, nah, if we're gonna get buried to NXT, we'll do it in our way, and then they transformed it into.
It always works out that way. It's like when you just say F it, I'm gonna just go all in.
Yeah,
on myself.
You could tell that was something that Vince definitely did not approve.
Yeah,
and that's why I always go back. Like, I'm like, yo, who allows this tyrant to literally ruin so many people's careers to his image? Like, I mean, is he that old where he believes that everything he comes up is a gold?
Yep.
Because there's just so many talent, in my opinion, that gets swept under the rug. Like Dolph Ziggler, you were saying. Like, I think in ring wise and even on the mic, guy's great. He was no, don't take it to the heart. Next Shawn Michaels. He can athletically do things in the ring, good on the mic. He was a pretty boy. He could definitely sell things. But they didn't use him right.
I agree with that to an extent. Now, Dolph is a complicated one. He's been around for so long now. Like, it was a time I was behind Dolph Ziggler. This is early Dolph days. And
was it the Spear Squad, Dolph?
I love that.
Definitely not that one.
Not that far back.
But the one where he kind of brought in Big E and he was like his handler and
where he was like the King of Zamunda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was like that whole era, and I think AJ Lee was around. Like that whole era, right?
AJ Lee was with him for a little bit.
Yeah. So when they played into his, because that was supposed to be Dolph's character. Like he was supposed to be this cool guy who got the girls and like, got the henchmen, and then he do the athletic shit and like I kick ass all night and this that.
Does that not remind you of somebody? Shawn Michaels and Big Daddy Cool?
Okay. Yeah. Now you feel me, right? This is what I said. I was behind him. So, and then after a while, I guess what happened was, like you said, his character begins to get ruined. He gets booked to lose in bad matches. He gets booked with people he shouldn't be booked with to help get over.
Yeah, when jobbers beat you, like, it's awful.
Yeah, so this was happening for a while. And I think maybe that's what it was. You just fall out of love with him and stuff. Like, I don't think he was really that great on him. Like, I think he did get better.
He wasn't pushed right. That's it.
He got better eventually.
He just,
but I think, like what Sean said, though, like Sean said, I think Sean did say something like, cause Sean would throw his little like critiques, like criticisms, like when they be like, oh, especially when guys trying to model themselves after him, as he should, and he's just like, yo, you have to do things that separate yourself, that separates yourself from whoever they meaning us think you are, like meaning me. You get what I'm saying? So you want to do things more that stand out. And I don't know. I just think that Dolph didn't do enough to stand out. I don't think he was as charismatic.
I don't think he
I don't
was
think it's really
given
as
the.
charismatic either. Like
No,
no, I don't think
I think he just wasn't given a fair opportunity under
no, he's
Vince.
definitely been giving that fair opportunity. I think it just
You
gets
think
muddled
so? I'm talking about
by
towards the end.
everything else
Towards the
around him.
end.
Oh no, towards the end
Okay,
he was
okay.
washed up.
No, never
During
mind.
his
No, you make a
height of
good
his
point. You make
career,
a good point. You make a good point.
during his
Yeah.
height of his career, he get muffled. Like his championship reign was short lived because
Mm-hmm.
everyone else was, at that time was getting pushes.
You're
So
right.
because granted he wasn't excellent on the mic, the next person just took his place, and like it wasn't like he had a rematch. He
I
didn't
remember
have
him and
fair
Mandy.
shake. That was hot, but
Otis.
then that got muffled by Otis. I'm like, so Otis came in a tag team package. You got rid of the guy who can actually really wrestle, but you
Yeah,
kept
but
Otis.
I was all about Otis though. See, I was all about Otis on that
What?
tag. Yo, I love. You know why? Yo, you know me. I like to dance. So when you can do the worm at that
Oh,
at that weight
it's impressive.
of a
you have
mass,
you seen him
you
lately?
do it.
He barely gets
Impressive.
up.
But okay, lately, but we're talking about back then with this tag team. Okay, his partner. Yo, you. No offense, you look like a typical redneck at a country bar that I would just be like, but then you see Otis, like Otis would be that dude in the dance floor, like, yo, you can move and you big. Like it's gonna take it away. Like I see why they pushed Otis. Otis had the fans. The
But
other
again, they
dude
did
was
nothing with
there.
him. They still haven't done anything with
Vince,
him. They gave him that
Vince.
Mandy nonsense, and that's it.
It was Vince, but people ate that though. But see, what they really should have done is when whatchamacallit took Mandy from him, they should have rode that package. Because that right there looked like a star package. Like Dolph and her side by side, like it looked perfect. Like,
They could
you
have
know what
been
I'm
the
saying?
power couple. They could have been the next Macho and Elizabeth
Exactly. And she lives over here in Fort Lauderdale, like 20-25 minutes away. You know what
doing
I'm
her
saying?
OnlyFans.
Before the OnlyFans, when she was just testing the
I
waters.
don't. Matter of fact, I meant
When
to
she was
ask that.
testing it out.
Was it a real debacle?
Oh,
Like, did she do something inappropriate on her page, and that's why they canned her, or
she was in OnlyFans.
like legit
She
OnlyFans,
was in
not
all.
like
No, she was in OnlyFans. Like, yo, she
damn.
posted that on her social media. Like, yeah, she has her little. You
Oh,
go to that thing and you go and you press the little thing and it brings her right to her page.
didn't even know that because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't
Because
dabble in those things.
But
I
it's,
used to follow
I mean,
her
what she was
on
showing
my.
basically what
Huh?
nude probably, and they didn't like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it was just pretty much just no. Like she will always be at the beach in Hollywood Beach over here in Fort Lauderdale.
And let her make her
Like,
money, man. Like now,
See,
look at
I didn't know she was doing nudes because I. So true story for myself. I only knew OnlyFans because there was a female UFC fighter who did OnlyFans, but she would only do like training videos, fighting videos, but she wore the same stuff you wear in the octagon, which is, spandex.
mhm. Yeah, it's another
Then
way
like,
for them to make money. But she was explicit.
yeah, yeah. So then I found out weirdly afterwards that like people go there, girls at least go there for nudes. And I'm like, wait,
No,
that's what they're
they
doing?
go there for news and porn and all that, man.
Okay, yeah, see, and
Yo,
that's why I don't really
women,
do social media
women
stuff.
be.
That's
I
crazy.
mean, I live in South Florida, so that's all they do down here. I mean, sorry to say, South Florida. That's where If you look it up on Google, man, the top hotspot for OnlyFans is in Miami.
Insane. So that is what Mandy Rose was doing, is like out there.
I don't know. I don't think she was fucking on there. Nothing that explicit, but yo, it was enough for them to say, yo, this is too much.
Yeah, they gave it a boot, and I'm like, dude, you had like the best female faction, Toxic Attraction. You had people coming in looking at your shows for a female group, not even the males. Why would you
No,
get rid
and
of
they
it?
were good wrestlers. Yeah, Mandy was good. Mandy was a good wrestler. I enjoyed watching her.
I think she got better the minute she went back to NXT.
Oh yeah, no, 100%, 100%.
While they had her on the main roster, it was like, oh, look at, like you said, look, a blonde, beautiful girl.
That was
Oh,
Vince's. That
oh
was
no.
Vince, man. I think
And
Vince
she
just got
couldn't wrestle.
jealous. Damn, we just missed a kick.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. CM Punk rules. I'm happy. I'm excited.
We get more Punk. We thought it was over. We thought for a slight
Hey,
minute
your facts.
it was over. We was like, well,
Yeah,
he's not going to go to TNA, so you know.
Well, he can't because they're pretty much owned by Tony Khan.
mm-hmm.
He had no other choice but to go either. No, he can't even go to Japan Wrestling.
No, but
Yeah,
he has a relationship with New Japan. Yeah, New Japan do what they want though. But
Really?
yeah, they own
I
thing.
mean, with that Forbidden Door
TNA
nonsense, I thought that
is their own thing. TNA own themselves. That's owned by I forgot what they called.
they just got a
Some
partnership.
Canadian company. Yeah.
Yeah, they
oh,
just
so that
That
female lost the contract.
that same Canadian company that purchased it from Dixie Carter like eons ago. It's the same company. I can't remember what they called. Venture or some shit like that. I can't remember, but yeah, they solid. They're solid. TNA solid. Their business is solid. I seen something, a profile on them recently. Like their business is solid. It's just that, they're not gigantic. They couldn't probably afford to acquire the services of a
Matt Riddle.
of a that was bad.
They let that boy go. Matt Riddle. No.
Yeah, he's out of there. He said something salty too on Twitter.
listen. I'm not to try to change the subject or nothing like that, but my Patriots just missed a field goal. We lost. So yeah.
Hey man, you got
It's like me watching. It's like me watching.
Don't you do
Cassidy. It's like me watching Cassidy right now. Just like, why the fuck did I just watch this match?
Listen, it'll be all
it. I
right.
mean, you're watching it for its highlights. That's what you're doing. You're watching it for the highlights.
So yeah, I mean, thank you guys for tuning in to this. We had a good time here. We
I don't even know how long we were watching.
We talked more about
Everything.
everything. It was Punk, everything. So it was Punk and just the state of wrestling and as a whole. So
we got to do this again, man.
Got to have more of these, like the state. Call it like the state of wrestling. You know what I'm saying? Like,
And